Aren't we all a bit sick of those pesky man marking or tight marking instructions on our wingers? In this video, I'll show you how to effectively deal with those instructions to free up your wingers and potentially ruin the opposition defensive structure. Before we get into this, we need to first have a look at the difference between the two instructions. So let's test tight marking with a traditional back four. Right from kickoff, you can already see Arda Güler is rushing towards Rafinha, and if you look at the minimap, you can also see the left back is tight marking Yamal. But now, when the left back is not near Yamal, this time it's a centre back who tight marks Yamal. And that's the key thing with tight marking, it seems. It's contextual and it depends whoever is closest to the target player and he will tight mark him. Have a look at this clip. Initially it is the centre back again tight marking Yamal, but then he sees a midfielder making a run, so he decides to track him. And now the left back picks up the tight marking. Now what would happen if we swapped the player positions and putting Rafinha at AMF and dragging Yamal back a little bit? Now as Rafinha adjusts his position in the middle, it is still the right back who is tight marking him, but have a look at Fermin, who is now a winger, and he's completely free on the wing now. Dropping Yamal down to a wide midfielder doesn't have much of an impact, but it is dragging the left back a bit higher if you compare him to the rest of the back line. Now let's test man marking on the wingers and see how it differs from tight marking. Immediately you can see the biggest difference with man marking is that, despite the name, man marking seems to be a lot tighter than tight marking, especially when the ball is on the other side. Even when the player drifts to a different position, the player who's doing the man marking will follow. Now again, what happens when we swap positions and drag Yamal down? As Rafinha drifts central, we can see that the right back follows suit, leaving Fermin, who's now a winger, free on the flank. Similarly to tight marking, when we drag Yamal down to a wide midfield, you can see the left back again is pushed up higher than the rest of the defensive line. Now let's see what happens when we put Yamal as a CF and Lewandowski as a right winger. Immediately the defense is really confused here. We have the right back in the middle tight marking Rafinha, and also the left back is a little bit tucked in as well. This example is even better. Lewandowski, who is a winger at this point, he drifts into the center and Rafinha goes to the side, leaving the defense all over the place. And it is this trick that we'll be utilizing. For this, you'll need to have players who can play in different positions. For example, your centre forward ideally should be able to play as a winger or an attacking midfielder. Your wingers should be able to play as a centre forward, second striker or attacking midfielder. Your midfielders should be able to play on the wing. With your players all set up, now you'll need to go to sub-tactics and start shuffling your players around. Typically, your wingers are the ones who get man marked. So I would start with pulling your wingers to midfield, and then your midfielders to the wing, or swapping a winger directly with a CF. Let's have a look at some real examples. You can see here my Messi on the right wing is being man marked. So I go into sub-tactics and swap Messi with Rafinha, and immediately you can see Rafinha is free on the right wing and he's available for the switch. And now Messi as an attacking midfielder making a run, and eventually resulted in a goal. Again, with another example, you can see that both of my wingers here are being man marked. So I go into sub-tactics, swapping the players around. Vinicius can't play as an attacking midfielder, so I did this instead. Immediately you can see that the right wing is now free. This is a great example. Thuram here is still man marking Vinicius, and he's completely leaving Çalhanoğlu free on the wing.
Now it's Çalhanoğlu, Haaland, and that. Oh, what's he giving here? He's given a penalty.
Again, look at how Thuram is still man-marking finishes and completely leaving the winger behind. And Çalhanoğlu is free. Sometimes it is like trying to solve a puzzle. Salah here can't play in the midfield and Gundogan can't play on the wing. But in the end I think I've settled for something like this. And it worked out quite well for me. Another example. Again, both wingers are being man-marked here. But can we just talk about this for a second? If your opponents put man-marking on your wingers, it's not necessarily a bad thing by default. Because have a look at this. When the fullbacks are man-marking your wingers, normally that means there's more space in the middle, which would normally create space for midfielders to run into. Both Modric and Bellingham can't play on the wing, so this is what I settled for. Going from this to this. And here we can see Roberto Carlos here, who is a left back, and he's now central. Bit unfortunate with the pass. But now I've freed up the space on the wing, and now look who's covering the left back area. It's the centre back. And here we have a counter-attacking chance here. Now because Roberto Carlos is man-marking Messi in the middle here, instead of covering the left back area, he's running towards the centre, leaving Szoboszlai free. Again, look at how much space there is when my opponents put man marking on my wingers, which gave space for De Bruyne to run into. But unfortunately I couldn't capitalize on this one. So again, let's switch things around. Immediately the right wing is freed up. Again, look who's man marking Yamal in the middle. It's Costa Curta, the left back. So now I'm attacking down the right. And look, now Beckenbauer, who's usually a centre back, is now having to cover the left side. So that's it for this video. Hopefully this has given you some ideas to counter man marking and tight marking and free up your wingers. If you found this video helpful, please give this video a like and don't forget to subscribe for more. See you in the next one.